Okay, we just got in the car. Someone's going to have to hold this because I'm driving. It's illegal to do that in Georgia.
Don't stop me.
All right, so Georgia really wiped out Massachusetts. I'll just say this first. I really think they're playing well. I really think they're surging. They're not worse than the third best team in the country to me right now. And I think they can beat Clemson and Alabama. And Alabama today, I don't know if I would take a bunch from Alabama. We watched that game pretty close the first 3 quarters or so. It's just hard. That's not what Alabama deals with. So I'm not paying attention to that at all, other than the fact that the notion that you cannot run against Alabama is insane, because you can.
Yeah, it wasn't a great day for the defense overall, defensive backs in particular, but offensively they were, again, doing whatever they wanted from another great day. Saw a lot of Justin Fields, showed his arm. The guy can absolutely spin it. We've been saying that for a long time. And the fans got to see that today. The running backs, I mean, they did their thing. James Cook had himself a nice day. Tyler Simmons, kind of one of the forgotten weapons on this offense. He also had a big day, and that was good for him. He's known as a physical blocker and does a really good job of that. Nice to see him come out and have a couple scores today.
I mean, he's fast. He can burn you on the edge, and I think Kirby was talking about it, why they wanted to get him the ball this week. Is like they said his GPS numbers were like very high this week, and so they figured, let's get him a chance.
You know what that means to me? I mean, it just shows just referencing the GPS number. That's how meticulous these guys can really be into big data, if you want to call it that, combing through, not just trusting your eyes exclusively. This guy's playing well. I guess your eyes could fool you, but the numbers don't lie. The defense didn't play so hot, if you want to say that, but it's hard to score that many points. It really is. I don't care if you're going up against air. It's hard to score that many points. It's also apparently hard to drive because the person in front of me is really struggling.
I don't know what they're
we're going 15 miles an hour. There's no one on this road. And now we're getting traffic, so this is going to be longer than we expected. But hey,
that's good for y'all. That's good for those
it's not
listening.
good for us, though.
But I'm hungry.
Well, overall, solid day. When's the last time Georgia scored 66 points? Was it against Troy or something like that?
They played Troy. I remember that. And that was like Hudson and Bryce, and like they were slinging it that day. They really scored a bunch of points, and that was with Todd, etc. But
they let Justin sling it today.
He really could throw, man.
I mean, he had 2 passing touchdowns and probably should have had a third. Demetrius Robertson probably should have caught that.
That's a drop. That's a
no
drop.
question. He dropped that ball.
Those are the plays you've got to make.
I'm confused as to what we're doing here. Like, why is this so hard? There's 2 lanes. Like, what am I missing here? Can someone help me? No, honestly, why are we not going? This is 2 lanes.
You got some Auburn fans in town.
Yeah, I think that's definitely it, because every single bad driver in this
unacceptable.
world is...
The guy in front of you, he doesn't know where he's going.
Well, he's from Walton County. That's the county over. It's not that far. Okay.
How easy was that? Now we're
cooking. Yeah.
I know I've been in Athens basically my whole life, with a few years exception, but it's not hard to drive. I don't care where you are, unless maybe South Florida. South Florida, it's a struggle. DeAndre Baker played fine. I think this is a team that's surging.
Speaking of South Florida, I mean, Orange Bowl, is that a...
I mean, they're going to have to beat Alabama to get to any of these bowls, the Cotton or the Orange.
The Rose Bowl was here tonight.
You saw the Rose Bowl here tonight?
Absolutely.
Why?
I
What was
asked
that
myself
about?
the same question. I'm not sure.
I often ask myself things like, is Dylan really going out with the coffee girl or not?
Why are we bringing this up? Why are we bringing this up? This isn't the thing.
The members want to hear about it,
They
Dylan.
do.
We
They
just
wanna know.
we just care about you, and everyone else cares about you, and we just want things to go well with Coffee Girl.
I need a complete backup and recap.
We'll do that. We're gonna have to do that in another, because now we're really moving, so we're probably in the car for maybe 5 or 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Rushing wise, 426 yards
That's
tonight.
way too many yards for UMass to give up.
That's insane. I mean, like, that's an impressive amount. That's
I agree.
almost half a thousand.
They look good. You know, I grew up in Atlanta, and this is the game you freak out about the most. And I was just watching these guys play. I'm not sure that they're... And Georgia Tech is playing pretty well.
Could they be a top 25 team?
Did they win again today? Who'd they play?
Was that Virginia this week?
Did they beat Virginia?
I thought they did.
I think so.
Well, they were.
I thought you wrote that they beat Virginia.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh.
I know Utah State escaped, Colorado
State.
State.
Yeah.
They won in overtime against UVA.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tech's 7-4. Tech's going to have a hard time beating Georgia.
I mean, like, even if Georgia struggles with the triple option, they can outscore him at this point.
What did Kirby say about him? There's a lot of guys who haven't played against Tech. Is that what he said?
That would be what I would be worried about.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll probably struggle with it a little bit. I mean, it's not an easy thing to deal with, but
They're locked in, though, man. I mean, they're definitely playing. Jake Fromm says to me tonight, we're dangerous. I think we're getting dangerous. He's right. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points.
Baker Mayfield dangerous.
66 points is hard to score. They didn't score that many last week, obviously, but it should have been 40, as we talked about.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. But this is a team that's really surging at the right time. Now the question is, the problem is they are probably either the number 2 or 3 or 4 team in the country, and they're going to have to play as the number 8 team basically in this quarterfinal against Alabama. So that is conference bias against you there. Whereas last year it helped to be in the SEC if you were Alabama. This year it's going to hurt you if you're Alabama or Georgia, one of the two.
Yeah, the playoffs start December 1st for Georgia pretty much.
And for Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't know if Alabama loses if they get in. I'm not as convinced.
I still think they do.
Notre Dame
but-
is not in the same ballpark
No.
as any of the teams we're discussing.
Well, I think they punched their ticket today, right?
Well, they got to play
Yeah.
SC next week.
SC's
Yeah, but
awful.
SC
They're
is
terrible.
bad.
Okay, but
They're bad.
I don't think they're in the same ballpark as Alabama, Clemson, Georgia. I don't think they're playing better than Michigan, although Michigan looks so hot
Michigan
today.
did not.
I still
look
think
good.
Michigan would beat Notre Dame if they play
I think so, too.
today or
But,
next
but
week.
we know what happened in that game.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I think whoever gets Notre Dame in the playoff is going to be, they're fortunate because they're not going to lose.
Well, they'll be number 4 for sure, right?
Notre Dame? I
Yeah.
think they're going to be the 3.
Yeah,
If things-
I mean,
if
they're
things-
ahead of Michigan.
Well, I say that. If Georgia beats Alabama, I don't know what happens then. Clemson's your 1 then. And then I don't know what, then probably Georgia's your 3, I guess. I don't really
If
know.
it's the
At
4
that-
best teams, Notre Dame should be 4 no matter if they're undefeated.
I
mean,
don't think Notre Dame is one of the 4 best teams. But
Right.
I do think it's almost impossible to ignore the fact that they're undefeated.
They have to go in. Undefeated
Yeah.
Notre Dame's getting in.
Right. And they beat
Every year.
Michigan, who is a top 4 team allegedly as well. So
Syracuse is not 11 or 13 or whatever they are. That's
no, they're not
ridiculous.
good.
They're not that
Syracuse
great.
is not good. I don't think.
They're
But
not.
well, we
This Georgia team would, I feel confident, would spank Notre Dame.
They would beat the piss out of Syracuse. I know that.
Oh, yeah.
They would destroy Syracuse.
What was it you asked Fromm about his beard?
That beard is growing in pretty thick these days.
Yeah,
And,
I noticed that.
He's got a little chest hair or neck hair. I know what that's like. And Jake Fromm, if you just look at him, is got a lot of different hair color naturally. I know we're really getting in the weeds here, but
That's what
it
you
kind of
do for
goes.
UMass.
It kind of goes like brown to auburn to a little bit of light brown.
I got a little light brown auburn.
It's
going
a little.
on.
It's very. What's the word? He's a
Colorful.
different looking guy.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird how deep you can go into this analysis of the hair of
Well,
Jake Fromm.
why not?
He's the quarterback at University of
Yeah,
Georgia now. Everything has to be
we got
broken
to
down
inspect
about the kid.
everything.
Yeah.
All right, if Justin
Every
Fields,
little detail.
If Justin Fields were available, I would be doing something very similar. But Justin doesn't have the hair color pattern that Jake Fromm does. Very few people do. Anyway, the point is that I say all that because I don't think he's dyeing his hair. I guess is one way to put it. But
I would, but I could see it.
there's no shot he's going frosted tips.
No.
Right? He should get kicked off the team if he does that.
Going
Well,
the
Isaac
Jimmy-
Nada.
the
Well,
Jimmy
Isaac
Clausen
Nada can
route.
do that because he would punch me in the face if he wanted to. Not, Jake Fromm's not going to do that. Anyway, he said he thinks he might have to shave it. I wonder if he's been growing it out since,
No Shave November. It's a real
Yeah,
thing.
it might be.
There's no way that he grew that in 2 weeks.
I don't know, man. He's kind of a man.
He is.
He's kind of a man.
But 2 weeks? If he's growing that in 2 weeks, then I feel really bad about
I
myself.
can grow mine pretty quick.
Oh
too.
yeah, 2 weeks I could pull that off.
I've got 1 week's worth in here, and I just got the whiskers.
Well, we got to get y'all some more testosterone.
It's just
fellas.
9 really thick hairs coming from my chin. It's not.
If
it's
I
9 really thick
for,
ones.
for
That's
me,
all I got.
if I didn't have to have facial hair, I'd be all over that. If I never had to shave again, that'd be a wonderful thing for me.
I want to have a beard.
I don't. Why?
They're
What is
great.
the value
Because
of
I
a
can't
beard?
have one.
What is the value
Because
of a
right
beard?
now I cannot have one.
You just get man points.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Man points? Really?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're going with?
Well, chicks dig beards too.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
It depends if it's a
Says
good
the
beard.
guy with a beard.
Have you seen my wife? Have
Yeah,
you seen
I've
me?
seen her.
It doesn't make sense.
No, it makes sense. You know, you get into your 30s, you get a little desperate. These things happen.
I guess.
It's all right. No,
I-
you gotta
but-
be funny. That's what we rely on. People like you and I. You gotta be funny.
Who is you and I? Not you're not talking to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, I'm hilarious. That's.
You're not funny.
No question.
I'm really, really funny.
What did you see from the box that we missed, Matt?
Again, I didn't think the inside linebackers played well. I think Juwan Taylor and Natrez Patrick, they got blown up a little bit in the run game. I just think they have to play better, especially next week against Tech. And just that I do worry about the defensive backs when it comes to playing Alabama a little bit, but it's nothing that they can't fix. And, you know, Natrez and Juwan Taylor, those guys are seniors. They didn't play all that well today, but they could come back and have a big game next week.
They were every single one of those kids referenced the fact that Georgia hasn't beaten Tech in Athens since 2012.
Yeah.
Which totally skips the fact that they have curb stomped them in Atlanta once or twice in that time. Actually, they haven't. I mean, in 13, that was an overtime game, and then 15 was just one of the worst games ever. I mean, Tech could not do anything offensively. The kids
08
were-
was not fun either, but that's a little ways back. The Matt Stafford 5 touchdown passes.
They
still
should have
find
never
a way
lost
to
that
lose.
game.
That was awful. Real quick, what's Monty Rice? What y'all
I didn't know what.
hurt pregame? Was that what
It was
happened?
a pregame deal,
That's
which is
seems
odd.
What are you doing?
really weird.
He said, I think Kirby said he like stepped on it odd or
He
something.
planted, and when he went to take off, it's something hurt him.
I do think he's going to be missed badly next week if he's not playing next week. I mean, he's the team's leading tackler, right?
Yeah, he is, and they're banged up a little bit. But he said, you know, he's comfortable with where they're at. But I mean, I sit on the sideline, shot a lot of guys on the sideline today. You got Ben Cleveland's not playing, David Marshall's not playing, Kendall Baker's not playing, Cade Mays was not playing. You got a lot of guys that did not play today. I do wonder. Like, Cade Mays, I think, will play against Alabama,
I think so too,
you know,
yeah.
maybe even Tech. I would imagine Ben would too. He said Kendall Baker's day-to-day. We'll see about that Monday.
I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah.
he's day to day.
We'll see about that Monday, I guess. But, you know, they're banged up, but I guess everyone is banged up. You could say that. Alabama got popped a lot today for – it's just like these games just don't feel like they're worth playing sometimes. I am one of the few people that actually does like these sort of meaningless games.
They're positives.
I like it
in
this
the game,
late
but-
in the season. I like the one just kind of like let's, you know, take a little break. Let's slow down a little bit and just hang out.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can't. It is hard unless you're playing the NFL. Even in the NBA, you don't have this. I think the NFL is one of the few sports. You know, you don't get this in professional tennis. It's hard to really peak every single weekend or every single time you compete. That's hard to do. In the NFL, you have to do that, but you know, but in the NBA, I mean, like, there's plenty of teams that just are not good.
Well, it
So-
definitely works out in Georgia's favor to have a game like this right before Tech, because they plan for Tech this week. I mean, Kirby could say
No
all he
question.
wants about
Yeah.
you know, prepping for UMass or whatever, but they essentially got a week and a half, 2 weeks to prepare for Georgia Tech. So I think
And they need to.
And they've been working on Tech a little bit each week,
as they should.
Yeah, I think they.
Kirby Smart left Sanford Stadium as his first year as a head coach as a loser to Georgia Tech. That is not the end of the world. Kirby Smart left his senior season. His last game in Sanford Stadium was a loss to Georgia Tech, a controversial one. Whether everyone remembers that or not, I don't know. But
Jasper Sanks, was that?
no, that was 99. That was in Grant Field. This was Joe Hamilton fumbling, and they didn't call it a fumble. Long story. And then they drive the field to score a touchdown. Kirby Smart grew up in Georgia, South Georgia, where, I mean, they get it. He knows the deal. He ain't a first-year head coach anymore. Paul Johnson has a lot of success against first-year head coaches, particularly those and first-year defensive coordinators at Georgia. They're not first-year anymore. They know how serious this game is, and they will take it deadly serious for 2 reasons. Number one, most importantly, is Georgia Tech. Number two, and if you don't understand that, you don't get sports.
Everyone listening to this, I think, should get
They
that.
do. But if you don't understand that, you have a serious deficiency in understanding what it is to be a Georgia person. And secondly, you can still win a national championship this year. You can still win the SEC this year. Your whole season is in front of you this year. You got to go take it to Tech. And like he said, he has the right attitude. Take it as a challenge. And they need to. And they're going to be challenged this week. All right.
See you guys.
That is all.
Yeah. See you.
Bye.